if anyone can hear this, just let you know that I am here and this place is haunted and I'm so spooked.
Here we go now. Here we go. Here we go now. Here we go.
Ooh, I'm alive, and
So get ready to get the scares and get ready to get frightened.
you're gonna have so many. Moments. You're gonna think, you're in the danger zone.
Richie, this is the Halloween special.
Ooh.
That's the first thing we talk about. Why would a ghost?
Ooh.
Why would they be surprised by something like, oh, look at those prices? Ooh.
Wait, why does a ghost make that noise?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Like why? I was like, whoa. Why? Why?
Why wouldn't they be like, hey, what's up?
Why would they be like, I'm dead, but I'm also here. So what's up with that?
I feel like maybe like one ghost, like a really cool ghost that all the other ghosts envied, had a lot of colon issues, and so he went around and he was like, oh, and he died before he could take any Pepto, so it never got resolved. And then everyone was so confident that he was doing it right that they just did that, not knowing why.
So he's a trendsetter.
He's a trendsetter, and also he has digestive issues.
And he's got. I can relate to this guy. This is some guy that's the ghost that I could be. Colitis ghost.
The ghost of Christmas colitis.
Or maybe he had a appendix burst. He's like, "Woo!" And everyone's like, "It's just a stomach ache," because they thought that for the longest time, and then you just died.
You
just died of they just died of a tummy ache. A witch. Ooh.
Year was 1912, and everyone said that Titanic was an unsinkable ship.
And boy, were they wrong.
Whoop. Fast forward 100 years.
Abraham Lincoln gets shot in the year 2012.
All right. Back to Halloween.
And now he's a ghost.
Ooh. Full circle. Boom. Comedy.
Perfect.
Instant callback.
So, now, okay. So Richie, I guess we should start off with this. Richie, what are your thoughts and feelings about Halloween in general? In the general tone from your perception. When Halloween comes up,
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Well, all right. So we got Halloween, right?
Yep.
I say if any punk kids come to my door and you don't see my porch light on and you're ringing my doorbell, I'm going to find something to give you, and I'm not going to have an attitude about it because you have so much light and future in your eyes that I'm just so envious. That's Halloween to me.
That's Halloween to you. It's that joy.
It's that one porch light that's not on in the whole neighborhood with no lights, and they've got the one pumpkin that's not carved on their porch.
Yep.
And you go, and then all the kids are like, "Is that a house? Is that okay? Is that a house?" And then so you're in the house and you're watching.
Go, Johnny. You knock. Just find out. I'm not gonna do it.
And you're inside the house. You're watching the 20th anniversary of the Treehouse of Horror Simpsons episode.
Yep.
In peace, and you hear the kids, the mumbling, and you hear trick or treat, and then you go, oh, they better not be at my door. That better not be for me. And so I'm just gonna ignore it. And then they say it again, and then they ring the doorbell, and you give it 5 Mississippis before you get up,
And you just hope that they get the hint.
and then you go into your pantry, you get a loose handful of Waffle Crisp.
You just throw it at
And
them.
you just throw it at them. You go, there's your candy. Your parents don't love you. And then they go.
So you're like the Halloween Scrooge.
I actually really like Halloween. I don't know why I said all that.
There's like the actual ghosts of different Halloweens.
Right.
And you're like, go and get the biggest jack-o'-lantern you can find.
Here's an ambiguous amount of coins. Go, Timmy.
Do the math. in terms of like best holidays to worst that you can think of, we don't have to include like National Taco Day, kiss your mother on Father's Day. Like, where does Halloween fit? Is it like number 1? Is it number 2? Is it like the bottom?
It's
50?
definitely not number 1 because you don't get any gifts, especially at our age. So let's just get that out of the way.
Okay.
Christmas number 1, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Giving. Halloween's up there. I enjoy it. I like it a lot. I think at every age, I've always found a way to like it. But I'd probably say, not knowing what number 2 is, I'd probably say Halloween is number 3.
So, okay, now I got a question now.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, Halloween's at a bronze medal.
Yeah.
Was it ever in that number 2 spot even as a kid?
I don't know.
There's Easter, you get some candies, but you have to dress up nice. You can't dress up as your favorite murderer.
You got to wear a yellow sweater.
Gotta wear a yellow sweater. So, like even as a kid, when you did all the great fun things, could it have ever been at least a silver or no?
I think it might have been. I mean, I've always, not always, but a lot of years, I always, try to, go all out. So I do really get into it sometimes. You know what? It might be a silver.
It might be.
Might
okay.
make it to silver.
Because I'm going to make the bold statement. As a kid, that was gold for me.
What?
I love...
More than Christmas?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it was more than Christmas. So, with Halloween, you got to dress up, and that's I thought that was really cool. That's what, it was essentially like you get to be a character, whether it's a superhero or a villain or whatever. You got to just dress up as something, and the whole year there was always be a movie that would come out or a TV show or a video game, and I'm like, I'm gonna be that for Halloween. And every year I forget it, and I always pick something completely different. But there's that, and then is the whole thing of you run out and you're getting candy. And I really, even as a kid, I really wasn't a big candy guy, but just the fact of I'm gonna go out and get all this candy, you just feel that adrenaline.
Yeah.
And as many houses I go to, as much candy as I get, the free market at its finest.
I'm going to upsell all of these for a nickel more.
And it'll be great. These people sitting around want to get their candy checks doing nothing.
No, I was never big into candy either. I mean, I liked it, but I was more into chocolate. Chocolate, I wouldn't say chocolate's candy. I would just say it's chocolate.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
So I would get it all, and everyone's like, you don't, you got to, you want to disperse the candy. You don't want to eat it all in one sitting. That was never a problem for me. I'm going to have a couple of Whoppers.
Yeah.
A couple of Kit Kats. Maybe a
Reese's?
Of course, a couple of Reese's.
Yeah,
big
get
fan
them
of peanut butter.
Reese's.
But that was about it. And then I'd forget it. And then I remember. And then it'd be stale by June. We're going to throw it out. Yeah.
But no, I absolutely loved Halloween. And in terms of, if you're going to compare it to, let's say, Christmas, when it came to television, Halloween specials were always better than Christmas specials because it was always cooler monsters and stuff were happening. But then the Christmas special was always I don't believe in Santa. And then the end, they're like, oh, thanks for the gift, Jimmy. I didn't get you the gift. Well, who did? And it pans over. And it's oh.
Oh, you should have prepared me for that joke. It's the best.
It's never oh, what's the true meaning of Halloween? And, whatever. It's no, it's always, except for Charlie Brown with the pumpkin thing.
Great pumpkin.
The Great Pumpkin. But the Halloween was always this is the Halloween episode. And they're oh, this monster's coming. Oh, it's so crazy. It's the Halloween episode. I'm did all the characters just die from this? This is amazing. And then you watch the next episode and they're yeah, Thanksgiving.
Hey, we're back.
We're back. We want turkey now.
You didn't die. Well, see, personally, I like the Christmas specials better because I don't like change. So I like everything the same. And I was I'm going to feel real warm and fuzzy at the end of this Little Bill Christmas special.
Well, don't get me started on Little Bill, man. He was the best. I'm curious.
And it was the same ending.
Yeah.
They're visiting, waiting for, I think, Grandma at the airport. She was stuck at the airport. And then at the end, I don't know, it ended. And Little Bill got this gift. And then he said, thanks, Grandma. And Grandma said, I didn't get you that. That's probably how it ended. Ooh, Santa died.
And now he's there at Halloween. I loved Halloween. I loved the whole concept of like, oh, there's different characters. And like, it was always, even as a kid, I liked like creatures and monsters and stuff like that. I thought, oh, that's so cool. Like you get to decorate and do all this cool stuff. So let's start. Okay, Richie, give me your typical, as a child, Halloween. What were you doing? Were you at, whose house were you at? What were you,
Let me set the mood for you.
All right.
So you are at my house. We're
Yep.
at my house. Think of your favorite costume.
Okay.
What do you want to be?
The spitter from Jurassic Park.
There you go.
That's what I was. It was
Really?
amazing. Yes, it was amazing.
Think of the biggest blockbuster. You're the spinner. What is it? Spinner?
No, it was well,
Spitter?
I call it the spitter. So there's the scene where
So you never learned the real dinosaur's name.
Well, no. The real dinosaur's name is a Dilophosaurus, and I have the action figure. It's just that they didn't actually do the spitting of the venom. Richie's got his face to palm thing going on right now. He's very just.
I am beside myself. You're the Dilophosaurus Rex.
Well, just regular Dilophosaurus. There's a
Rex.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
No, you're the Dilophosaurus.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
You got your costume ready. Now take that costume and put it over a winter coat and
Nice.
snow pants, because God forbid you go outside without your nines on when it's 48 degrees outside, like it is every Halloween. So now no one knows what you are, and you look like the Michelin Man. Now, you at this point know that you look nothing like the Dilophosaurus.
Yep.
Why not just start crying every year, the whole time? You don't like candy that much. You know you're going to grow up to be lactose intolerant. You know you're never going to be able to be a Dilophosaurus again. So, anyway, so you go out and you just start walking. And then and you come back. You open up all the candy. You spread it out on the ground. You look at it. You count it. You divide it up week by week. I get 6 Kit Kats a week for the next 14 years of my life. And then and that's Halloween to me as a little kid.
That's how we do as a kid. Okay, so I see some resentment in that.
We're just at this age, right? We're little kids.
Yeah, well, just little kids. I mean, so okay. Did you ever have like family members come over? Did you ever trick or treat with cousins? Trick
Yeah.
or treat with friends? Get a little group going on.
I think occasionally or most years we would have all the cousins that were within age ruin their favorite costumes with winter coats at the same time from the same house.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, one thing that bothered me once was like me and my other cousin were like, yeah, we're going to go as fast as we can and get as many candy as possible. Yeah, but guess what? Everyone else is still in that young toddler age. So it's like, you got to wait with the group because you can't get lost. And I'm like, no one's going to steal me.
Right.
Especially not this guy handing me candy. Strangers always give candy. They don't steal
Especially
you.
on Halloween.
Yeah.
Nothing.
When he has a
nothing-
mask and no one knows who he is.
Right, just like a big clown.
He's not even at a house. He's just kind of standing in the corner with a bunch of dirty candy in his hand. I trust him.
No wrappers, nothing. Just a couple like of ambiguous mints. You want some of these?
I think we kind of just prepared to where you would have to get a costume and then you would kind of put your coat. You try to slide your coat under it, which is hard because it's really big. So you had to be something, for the most part, buff. So that way
Right.
you're just like, oh, you're buff Dilophosaurus.
You're Buff's Batman. I remember here's another thing that scarred me. This is such a stupid story. I can't believe this actually happened.
Perfect.
So I was like it was like kindergarten or first grade.
Yep.
And you go to school on Halloween Day.
Yep.
And there's a big parade around where all the kids walk around the school and they go to different classrooms, they get candy, and everyone just gets to see them. The parents are all there.
They take
Parade 'em around,
pictures.
take pictures,
Yep.
so you're familiar.
Yep.
So Halloween Day, okay, everyone go get changed if you haven't already. Now remember, I'm 5 or 6, so some of this memory is like there's pieces missing, so I don't know
Okay.
why or what. So I go to the bathroom. I walk past all the cubbies in the side of the hallway. I go to the bathroom to change into my Batman costume.
Okay.
I'm always Batman every year.
Every year,
Batman.
you're Batman.
But I don't have to be buff Batman or fat man.
You could be
because
skinny Richie Batman.
It's in the middle of the day. Sun's out.
Yeah.
I'm good. So I go to get changed in the bathroom. I don't know what goes wrong here. I don't remember. but I don't have the shirt, the top of the Batman costume.
Not even like. Do you have the cape at least?
I don't remember. I think
Okay.
I just had the pants.
Okay.
I don't know. What's happening? So instead of saying, what would you do? Well, I'm going to go put my normal clothes back on, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to say something, 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 and start crying, right?
Yeah.
No. I keep my Batman bottoms on. I have no shirt on, and I walk through.
Oh, so you walk through just no shirt on?
through the
you didn't
hallway.
Put your regular shirt on.
No shirt on. Batman bottoms.
You're buff Batman.
Like hiding behind people's backpacks and cubbies because
You're hiding like this is like a
I'm
dream.
trying-
Like when you
it
dream like you're
seems like
naked.
a dream because it's so stupid. And so I'm like, and I'm just, I don't know. I think I went to the office. Eventually, I made it to the office. Either I went back to class. Could you imagine? All these stupid kids making fun of me. And then, or I think I just went to the office. I made it, and they put on like generic sweats with the name of the school on it. They gave me some of those, and then my
Even though you have a shirt.
what happened to my clothes? I don't know. and so then my mom, because she's an angel, already had a John Smith costume ready for me, backup from Pocahontas. 'Cause I
Nice.
love John Smith.
You were that kid. I remember a kid was dressed as John Smith. It wasn't you. It was a kid that actually looked like John Smith. He had blonde hair and everything. But I was like, well, why would a grown man be John Smith?
Because of your description just then, I'm just now realizing there's no amount of costumes that can make me look anything close to John Smith. Brown, curly hair. At that point, I'm probably
If
like
anything,
3
you could be
feet tall.
Squanto. You could be Squanto.
He's the little friend.
Yeah.
Squanto. And so I'm Pocahontas' nephew. And then so she brought that. I put it on. Then the rest of the day was pretty normal.
I remember one time we were doing the parade. It was kind of okay. So this is kind of weird. So I remember when I was in kindergarten. Actually, I don't really remember this. I just see it in the videos. I was in preschool. I was in preschool, and we're going through the little parade thing. And the whole concept is you go on the parade and the parents take the pictures, right? We already discussed this. Well, all of a sudden when I saw my parents, I became very shy and I like took my hand and like covered my face and I was like super embarrassed, like, oh God, they're taking pictures of me. That one thing that they're supposed to do. Why am I so self-conscious as a preschooler? I don't know.
with the paparazzi in your face.
And I'm like, oh geez, they can't see me with my Street Sharks costume.
My buff street. There's some buff street shark.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was really buff and it kept me toes. I mean, my thing was, I think maybe because I was a kid and I was like, oh, I want to put on my coat or something. I just remember I was like, if I run fast enough, I'll be warm.
Right.
That was like the whole thing.
won't
I'll
get
get pneumonia, but
Right.
I'll run.
I like how he picked the same disease.
Yeah.
Pneumonia.
Yeah, well, that's what every mother said. You're gonna get pneumonia.
Yeah.
You got to put on your scarf.
Do you have 4 mittens on right now currently? Well, we want 1 pair of gloves, 1 pair of mittens on top of the gloves.
Because that's what we need. We need Spider-Man with a little scarf on.
And no opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
He's just got circles for hands.
He can't even do the cool
He
web
can't do the
thing.
web thing. He can't.
How are you supposed to hold on to the bag?
All he can do is give you a big hug. Buff Spider-Man.
Above Spider-Man.
Giving hugs.
When does it start?
Getting not awful.
Yeah. So you're older now. You're no longer John Smith. You're still shirtless.
So okay, let's go. I'm gonna say 12.
Okay.
12, 13. I remember 1 year I did, like I said, I really got into Halloween. 1 year I didn't go as anything in particular. I went as a quote unquote scary guy,
Okay.
which means you go to Party City and you buy all of the possible bloody things you can glue to your face, and I
Yes.
glued them all to my face.
Nice.
And my mom did my makeup, and so what my costume ended up being was it's like 2 halves of a screw, and then so one half goes on like your temple, the other half goes on your cheek. So it looks like the screw is going through your face, and there's like blood and everything like that. So we got bunch of fake blood for this costume.
Yeah.
Then we have, I don't know why.
I'm assuming you didn't wear this at school.
I don't think I did, because you couldn't have been allowed.
Yeah. At my school, there's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to be an army man. I was trying to be an army man. And they had like super strict rules.
What?
For some reason, I think I wanted blood on me. As army man. Like it's just like
I just want blood.
I just want to reenact the scene of
Right.
Saving Private Ryan. I want to be the guy that's picking up his own arm. Is that too much to ask?
Come on. And then we also got old man hair, gray hair.
Nice.
Now you're saying, oh, a wig. No, it's just loose gray hair, and we glued that also to my head.
What?
Yeah. Which, believe it or not, hurt to get off because it was good glue for
It was that good
costumes.
stuff. They didn't mess around.
And then I wore the cloak I wore from my Scream costume because everyone one year was Scream.
Yes.
Everyone and their mother was Scream. There's 14 Screams.
Yep. Everyone
Ne-
dressed up as Scream.
Next year I reused the robe to be quote unquote scary guy.
Or you can be a Grim Reaper.
Yep.
There's a lot of things.
Get a big
Ghost,
scythe.
Phantom,
Mm-hmm. Danny
You could-
Phantom.
Danny Phantom. You could be a Sith Lord.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things you can do.
You could go to sleep.
You can go to sleep in it. You can be
Snuggie.
a pillow. You can be a snuggie. You can just a big black blanket. A ghost with your eyes closed.
I think most of the Halloweens I ended up not being like something.
Yeah.
And ended up being like I'm gonna get creative with this and just use old things that smell like cat pee from my basement and put them all together and use that for a costume.
Nice. I was a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think about, like, I was Charmander one year.
Oh my gosh,
When I was young. I was Goku. I was
good costumes.
I was Scream one year,
Yep.
but I was Scream from Scary Movie where he's holding the phone and he goes, "What's that?"
Does he have the
He's got the
tongue
tongue
sticking
sticking out.
out? Yeah.
I was that because that was like more appropriate.
Yeah.
And I thought it was hilarious.
Right.
What else? I was the Dilophosaurus, aka the spitter thing that spits on Newman's face and he's got poison in his eyes from Jurassic Park. I was Zorro, but here's the thing. Never watched the Zorro movie ever.
no.
I just saw the trailer and I was like, this guy's got a sword and he's fighting crime in this 3 minutes. I'm going to be that guy. So I was Zorro.
Antonio Banderas.
I was
speaks
Antonio
to me.
Banderas. He gets me. Let's see. That's 5. So I was 5 years old. Let's see. I was a little dinosaur as a kid. I think I was Winnie the Pooh, all those like stuff like baby. Trying to remember. I was an army man. I think I was a Grim Reaper at one point.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like something I would have been. My mom used to sew and make our costumes, so we could say like, "What do you want to be?"
Right.
And I'd be like, "Dilophosaurus," and she'd be like, "All right, show me a picture," and then she would just make it.
That's crazy.
Whereas, because she's like, "Oh, don't buy costumes; they're too expensive or whatnot." And then when I got older, I was like, "Oh, she's like, oh yeah, you guys can make costumes. You guys are too big now. I don't want to make giant costumes for you people."
Right.
Okay. And then you buy them, and I'm like, wow, these are like really cheap and
They're the
light.
worst.
Like now I know why people have to
$50?
wear. Yeah, they're like super expensive.
Yeah.
These little Halloween stores that like pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I feel like they're the firework display of Halloween.
Yeah, 100%.
They just kind of pop up, and you go in there and you get all your costumes. And I'm like, how do they compete with Party City that's there all year round?
Right.
So that way you can get a birthday thing. I don't know.
I don't understand no, I 100% agree. The business model, financially, specifically, of a Halloween USA. What's happening November through September for Halloween USA? What's the hiring process? Who's going to work someplace for a month? All these questions that I need answered.
Yeah, because even like college kids, they're coming home November, December.
Yeah.
So they're not home working that month.
Nope.
And no one that is working at home is like, you know what I need? I need a 1 month job. Once I have that, then I'm set.
Which wouldn't that narrow down the people you're hiring to people who A, don't have a job and are desperate, which means they're likely got fired from their last job, which means you are picking from the pumpkin patch.
I walked into one of those recently and I noticed, I was like, man, the decorations in here and some of the stuff they're front for sale is really brutal.
It's a little much.
And gory.
Yeah.
Like there's so much blood and like white eyes and
Yeah.
like a rat like nibbling on someone's like social security or something, like something terrifying. And there's like there's just like body parts just hanging there,
Yeah.
just like, oh, you could buy the arm or the spleen.
I don't know when any of this happened. It definitely wasn't like this before.
Yeah, or maybe it's just weird, like even if I don't know, even if you decorate your house like that, it's like, dude, I think you secretly want to be a serial killer.
Right.
Like I think this is what you want to do. Like, I get, okay, you got the ghosts, you got the monsters, you
Skeletons.
got the little skeletons.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe a vampire with a little bit of blood.
Right.
Totally get all that stuff.
Right.
But there's some stuff I'm like, this is brutal.
This is
Are you
a
trying to
lot.
scare people? Or are you trying to tell us something?
Yeah, like
I don't think you should be near a school anytime
they
soon.
they take all this bloody stuff and they cut a picture of their own face out and they put it on the figure doing the killing. He's like, yeah, this is just for Halloween. I'm a normal person. Anyway, back to the dungeon.
Who's that group?
Who's that for?
Yeah.
That the little girl on the electric chair. That $1,000 masterpiece. Who's buying that?
Who's like, that's what I need
Yeah.
for my domain.
And then he goes, and you know what's good about it is you can use it on more days than Halloween. You can reuse it. It's not like a prom dress because I'm a crazy person. This year, I'm going to go into a Halloween USA and just look at the people that work there and just write in a notepad. Just see, hey, what's your story?
what you doing?
What you doing over there?
What you doing?
How many? What's?
Where's the Dilophosaurus costume?
You have any the spitter?
The spitter, he spits out venom. I didn't necessarily like go, oh, I'm just gonna be a goofy guy thing, aka giving up. I didn't really do that till I got older.
I don't think that's giving up. That's taking the extra step.
It's going
Also being super cheap because I didn't buy anything new.
yeah, super cheap with no money.
I remember one year recently, I put on an alien mask and then I put on a suit and I said I was a business alien.
This is silly. You're investing in moon rocks.
Really hoping stocks for. Anyway,
I remember. No, I remember as a kid, for the most part, other than like the Scream thing and all that, I really tried to never get a costume that required a mask because wearing it was so uncomfortable.
The worst.
And every time you breathe, it was just this hot, just
Wet.
mess. You couldn't breathe. It was hot and wet.
Yeah.
And I was terrified that the mask would become attached to me and I become one with the
like
mask.
that Goosebumps episode.
Like the Goosebumps
And the
episode.
mask.
I saw that episode and I was terrified
Nope.
after that.
It's over.
And I don't think I ever saw the ending of it. I just know that the girl put it on and she's like, I'm just kidding. And she tried to take it off. She's like, I can't take it off. So, every time I saw that at the store, I'm like, hell no. I ain't touching that.
I like Vincent
So-
Public. Hell no.
Hell no.
Michael McDonald.
So, okay. So then when you started getting a little older and you're the goofy guy,
Yeah.
was that when you didn't have to wear the coat as much? Your parents like, hey, go out and play,
Yeah.
or was it still?
Well, I think. Oh yeah. This time I wasn't wearing the coats anymore. Started going. I think this might have been getting closer to going on my own. One year going on my own. We grew up in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
1 year on.
We never knew each other.
No.
We didn't know each other until like way in high school.
Yeah. 1 year I went with a couple of friends, and I'm not like. I'm like 12, so it was probably like the second year, maybe the first year that I went on my own without parents or anything, and we just said basically, let's ruin this forever, and we said let's go as far as we can go, like
Yeah.
this, and then of course the night ended with us not knowing where we were. The siren went off, and my dad driving around the neighborhood looking for us.
Back then there was no phones.
No.
So you were just lost. You were just that
I was just
abandoned
a
kid.
lost person.
You're already on a milk carton before
Right.
the night was over. Trick or treating, especially maybe now because I'm older, but like it's only 2 hours.
It gets shorter
It gets
every
shorter,
year.
yeah. This year it's gonna be 30 minutes. You got 30 minutes to go out there and then get back in.
You get out, you go to your neighbor's house. If he doesn't have any candy, you got to come back. You
You're
gotta go to
just-
sleep.
That's it.
6:15.
And everyone lives next to Richie who's got the lights off. And they're like, listen, it's the only house we can go to.
They got the darkest color orange pumpkin ever. No candle.
Do you remember those? I do remember going through some subs, and there was people that like went all out in their Halloween. Like they made it like a scary haunted mansion
You had to
with
go, like,
blood and
in?
stuff. And you go in and stuff.
Yeah.
I was always terrified of those.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't like the trick part of trick or treat.
Yes.
You give me candy, you put some lights up, and you go back to whatever you're doing.
I'm the
there.
one. I'm the one tricking you. I'm
Yeah.
the one dressing up, ringing on your doorbell.
I'm the tricker.
Yeah.
I'm not a Dilophosaurus. I'm Vince.
Yeah. You give me the treats, put it in the bag, and I leave.
You've been tricked.
So I found out because I was talking a little bit about Holly and my wife. So Do you remember the people when you would go, oh, I can't wait to go up to this house and get some candy?
Yeah.
And instead, they gave you those mini chip bags.
What a waste. What is it? Lunch hour? Why are you giving me a small bag of Lay's with 7 chips in it and 50% oxygen?
So I found out that was my wife's house. They were like, and she goes, yeah, she's like, my mom would proudly say, we're the chip family. We give people the chips. And I'm like, you're the one that I would reach out. They'd give me the bag that I could gladly take home so I could eat the sawdust that is left from all the crumbs that have been crushed.
Have you ever eaten a chip bag?
No. My mom would be like, oh, good, I can put this in your lunch later.
Right.
Great, I can't wait to have smashed chips instead of all this candy.
Do you remember every year it seemed like at the bottom it was always a pillowcase. It never had like a bag.
See, when I was younger, we tried the bags,
Yeah.
but we found out the pillowcase was the
Pillowcase.
most effective.
Boom. Every year there ends up being like a box of raisins.
Yeah.
And you never see the box of raisins go in the pillowcase. It just shows up. It's like they hid it behind like
We'll tape it under this nerds.
or it's like secretly it's like a box of nerds. You open it up and it's just raisins.
You're like, ah! Raisins again.
We're the Nerds Raisins family. Every year, nobody expects to get that much extra potassium in their diet.
But little do they know.
By the way,
was-
raisins, great source of
There's
potassium.
always raisins, chips, and pretzels. The little pretzels that were shaped like pumpkins. But yet, even though they were Halloween themed, they were always stale.
Always.
They were always stale. I'm like,
Are
what
they
is this,
from
Halloween
last
from the 80s?
Last Halloween, how? Do you ever get the people? Every couple years I'll get like a plastic bag, like a gift bag, like small little plastic bag, and it'd have like a pencil, and a pencil sharpener. That's the whole. What part of treat don't you understand?
That was definitely-
you sociopath.
You got the pencil. You might think it's a trick, but really, it's a treat for knowledge.
Write down your thoughts. Do a diary every day, boy or girl. It's healthy.
It's the way to do it. You
Right.
got a dream journal? Go.
You got a dream journal.
Where are all your wishes? I wish I got candy. Or there was always the best was like when there was always that family that you knew they gave out like the king sized candy bars.
Big house on the corner.
Yep, everybody would go there. My wife was saying that her and her friends they knew those houses apparently, so they would dart there. They go as far as they can. They're like,
yeah.
oh, we're gonna go to the rich kids subs,
And then work backwards.
and then they work backwards. But I'm like, what if you get there and then the whistle goes off? I was like, I'm not that fast. Like, I thought it was fast, but
Yeah.
I'm not that fast.
That's a risk. You gotta in it to win it for the king size. Do you remember there's always one house every year that just, I don't know if they were in Orlando or what they were doing, but they put out the bowl of candy
Yeah.
and they said take one, and one was underlined twice and in caps lock. Has there ever been a Halloween where 4 minutes into it, the entire bowl was gone, candy's gone, they broke their porch light? You're going to get vandalized if you say, take one, here's a bowl of candy, all our lights are off, you know we're not home, door's not even locked, come on in, the safe code is 1234.
Well, I always wondered. See, I'm a little different. I'm very paranoid, so I was very paranoid as a child. So I would
They got cameras, buddy.
I'm like, uh-oh, if I take more than one, they got cameras. They're watching me. No one just leaves this much candy exposed.
They'll run the prints, they'll send it to the lab.
They're gonna scan my toothbrush. And they're gonna match it with the saliva that was at the scene, and
You're
they're
on
gonna
the
say,
grid.
"That's it. This is the guy."
This is our guy.
You know. Sure, I have a mask on, or my face is painted, or I'm dressed as. Can you imagine? They're called. All right, officer. So we're gonna do a sketch of this. All right, it's what it look like. Okay. Have you ever seen that scene where Randy Newman gets fed by poison? That thing. Oh, that is the Dilophosaurus Rex. No, it's just the Dilophosaurus, sir. Oh, yeah, it's a score. So he just drew that. He's like, all right, we're going to find this bastard. We're going to get him.
It's a real life drawing of a dinosaur.
And I think it was a kid in there, so they just, by the neck or something, they just, draw a face of a kid. Yeah, it looks like him.
They monopolized the entire police force looking for a dinosaur in the town. Like, this guy is a 2 candy taker. It said take 1, very clear. There's no room for interpretation. The word 1 was underlined, spelled out. You couldn't think it was an L, lowercase L or anything like that. This kid knew what he was doing. This guy's been doing this to every house that says take 1, he takes 2.
I remember I thought I was a super badass when I would go to a house and get candy, and then I'd wait like 5 to 50 minutes and then come back and get it
We
again.
did try
And they
that
never
one
questioned-
year.
They never questioned
Nope. All you
it. Because they're just in a rush. Like, okay, this kid, okay, here, take the candy, take the candy, take the candy. What's going on in the show? Okay, take the candy, take the candy.
Right.
You look a little familiar. Take the candy.
Who's looking at these little kids in costumes in the eyes? You could get away with that every day for the rest of your life.
I remember there was a thing like on TV. They're like, yeah, fun tip, like constantly change your costume. That way you can do the
Oh,
same house.
yeah.
Like, or you can just go to the next house. I mean, unless you know that house is giving out king size. But even then, I think these are people that probably have an education.
Right.
They probably have a degree of some sort. So they probably are starting to notice that there's a trend.
Every
With
other
with
kid is a
Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus with a cowboy hat. Dilophosaurus dressed as a princess.
Dilophosaurus with a mustache.
And frog.
Dilophosaurus on a skateboard.
Dilophosaurus dressed as John Smith.
So moving forward, we're past 12, 13. You're getting older. 14. Do I still go trick? 15. None of my friends are going. When I was 22,
Yeah.
me and my girlfriend at the time went trick or treating. We each put masks on, and then we went trick or treating like all night, like the whole 2 hours. And a surprising amount of people, to me, knew that we were like grown adults.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand because like we're both short people. And I mean, I was talking like this probably. I don't really remember. And then they'd be like, "Aren't you kids a little old?" And I'm like, "I got an alien mask on." Yes.
Well, Richie, you're also very buff. So they're like, there's no way this kid
Maybe-
is this athletic wearing a mask.
Maybe this young strapping toddler had a winter coat on. He was buff alien in a suit.
You think you're that buff, huh? This is some confidence.
I'm winter coat buff.
I'm winter coat buff. Michelin man, muscular. I got muscles in circles just all over my body.
I got muscles in different area codes.
Okay, so I think the last time that I went trick-or-treating, I was about 17, 18 years old. And my girlfriend at the time, who's not my wife, anyways, she was like, "Oh, I want to go trick-or-treating this year." So I was like, I really don't want to. Okay. Because at that point, I was like, oh, I'm too old for this.
Right.
So we went for about 10, 20 minutes, and it was super freezing cold.
Right.
So we were like, we're not young anymore. We don't have this ability to handle the cold. So then we went inside, and then we dressed up like warm coats, and then walked around as my younger brother did all the trick-or-treating, and I was like, wait a minute. I get home at 2:00. He doesn't get home till 4:30. I can just reap in the benefits, pick and choose what candies I want. He's
you go.
small. He's dumb. He doesn't know what he's going to do.
Right.
And that's what I did.
You literally stole candy from a baby.
It's like stealing candy from a baby who's also at school, but you're home because it's 2:00.
And he's not. It's like stealing candy from a baby who isn't around to protect their candy.
Yes. When you go trick-or-treating, all that stuff, you come home, bring the candy.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you had an older sister, and I had younger siblings. Did you guys ever share the candy, steal the candy, two separate worlds because your sister's older?
I think as far as my memory goes, 2 separate worlds, most likely. I mean, we went together a lot, but I don't think there was any. I mean, she clearly had the Mulan pillowcase, and I had the Hercules pillowcase. So
That's how it was.
that's how it goes. You don't touch Hercules pillowcase, and if you did, I would know because there's 13 Kit Kats in there last time I checked. Now there's 12. Don't tell me you didn't eat the 13th Kit Kat. You're gonna give me that. You're gonna give me that Kit Kat back, or you're gonna be in debt to me.
And it's going to accumulate with interest.
Now you owe me 2 Kit Kats. Now you owe me a Kit Kat and a half. You take
Yeah.
one of your Kit Kats, you open it up, you can eat half of it. You gotta give me half the Kit Kat and then a full Kit Kat on top of it.
Every parent was paranoid that someone was having a needle and just injecting poison in the Snickers.
I was gonna think if there's like a way to bring up like the whole myth of like razor blades in your candy.
Yeah, and the razor blades.
I just feel like That's like something like you and I would think about, being like high anxiety people.
Yeah.
Of like, well, let me check. Are there any small microscopic holes in this fun size Nestle Crunch candy bar that they injected?
Here's the thing. This was my parents every time. So we'd all come in. We're like, yeah, and we take the candy and we throw it all on the floor.
Yeah.
And get all your little piles ready. And every time they would be like, be careful. There might be razor blades. They might have injected poison in the candy. You got to check. And that's the farthest they went in terms of parental guidance.
How do you check?
And then, yeah, it's the thing. Like, you got to check. Okay, so you're looking at it. Yeah, it looks like candy. I guess I'm going to eat it. And it never happened. Here's what doesn't make sense about that. All right. I'm gonna spend some time. I'm gonna inject this into Three Musketeers because I know how much kids love Three Musketeers. And then they're gonna have that. Or how are you gonna finagle a razor blade in there without you holding it and giving it to them and not cutting the
perfectly, pinching it at the right angle and then setting it into their bag and saying, "Open that in 5 hours."
My parents never did anything about it. They were never like, "Oh, well, we got to check the candy." If they did it like once, and I'm already like halfway through eating it, and my mouth's bleeding, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's good, it's fine."
Yeah, a little bit of razor blade, no big deal. They're going over it with a metal detector.
Oh, okay. So what about jack-o'-lanterns? Did you ever carve pumpkins?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay.
Every year. No, well, not every year.
Well, here's my thing.
Okay.
I have a love-hate relationship with jack-o'-lanterns. Like as a kid, it's like, oh, cool, like you're gutting out this pumpkin and you can do it in whatever shape you want and all that stuff. And when you're really young, you can't do the knife and the little carving thing or whatever. Yeah. But now when I get older, all I think about when someone says carving pumpkins, I think of when my hand goes inside the pumpkin and there's that pumpkin goo.
No.
And it dries on your skin.
On your forearm specifically.
Nope. And it's all wet and crusty. I think of that every single time. So when someone says, oh, I want to carve pumpkins, I'm like, ugh. I'm like, no.
No, I don't want to do that.
I'm like, no. I'm like, that sounds so uncomfortable.
And is anyone good at carving pumpkins if you don't have like a tracer? Meanwhile, the knife they give you in the quote unquote pumpkin carving kits, you're like, well, I couldn't use it when I was younger. The knife that they actually give you is like,
it's a broken safety scissor.
It's not even good. It's like none of the edges are sharp. It's the same dullness around the entire knife. And then you just end up using a steak knife anyway.
Did you ever cook the pumpkin seeds?
Every time.
Yeah, you gotta.
What in this economy? Are you kidding?
You need that.
You cook the pumpkin seeds.
You sprinkle some salt. Put some olive oil or some sort of oils.
I don't have like specific memories of like things I've carved into pumpkins. I feel like we do it most years.
Most time it's just like scary face, happy face, some sort of logo or brand identity.
Yeah. AC/DC. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it usually ended up coming down to doing like a pumpkin's face, like with the 3 teeth and the eyes.
You get them.
All right.
Did you ever do the paint the pumpkin?
No.
People paint.
No,
yeah.
I didn't paint my pumpkins.
Some people bought the paint pumpkins.
What? Do you ever see like the pumpkins that are like too small and they're like purple, but they don't look painted? They just look like squash.
Yeah, I think that's
just squash. Yeah. What's that all about? And they all get they have like small warts all over it.
Yeah.
What kind of poor kid is getting that on Halloween?
What do you predict is going to be like everybody's costumes for Halloween? Like, what is stuff that you think people are going to do? I don't really think people are going to do a lot of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Just because it's for sale doesn't mean that people are going to necessarily dress up for it.
I don't know. I feel like
it's a hit or miss.
But this has never shown to be correct. I feel like Donald Trump is such an overdue thing even now. Yeah. Even before he was president. So I don't know how many people do it, but people love to kill jokes. So I'm sure plenty of people will be Donald Trump. I think 1 million people are going to be Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad.
I heard that movie wasn't very good though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But I guess it doesn't matter. Well, they keep advertising Harley Quinn. So I guess that's why, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a Halloween costume.
Oh, yeah, I gotta think of something.
Yeah.
Here we go now.